I know what you two want. You want a good old story, don't you? Well, you're in luck, because I've got just the story for you, written by one very talented young lady. And as she's not about at the moment, I'm going to read it on her behalf. Now, just to be clear, I'm not actually a young lady, you know. No, I'm the storyteller. All right, so are you sitting comfortably? Then I'll begin. This is Skinny. He's a rather annoying boy. Dog. And this is Fluffy. She's a cat. Well, this is a story about how a girl, a cat, and a boy, a dog, finally made up. Sort of. One day, Fluffy the cat was walking down the street minding her own beeswax, when suddenly Skinny the dog saw her and decided to surprise her, as only dogs can. Quite understandably, Fluffy was not best pleased. But Skinny was like a dog with a bone and followed Fluffy everywhere. But Fluffy was one step ahead of Skinny and always managed to get away. When he couldn't find her, he just used his big nose. Then, when he lost her scent, he just used his bottom and sat on it and waited and waited and waited. Eventually, a rather odd-looking dog came out. It must have been a dog, right? It was covered in dog hair, after all. And Fluffy might have gotten away with it too, if she hadn't been allergic to dog hair. Quite understandably, Fluffy was not best pleased. Enough was enough, thought Fluffy, and she decided to take matters into her own paws. It was the only way that she thought she could get any peace and quiet. And Skinny just couldn't help himself. He was a dog, after all. It might be totally obvious to us, but poor Skinny didn't have a clue what was about to happen. He was just happy that somebody left all these yummy treats out for him to gobble up. And who cares where they led? Although, when there were no more treats left to eat, he did wonder why he was outside a dog pound. Finally, Fluffy had some time alone, and girl, was she going to make the most of it. Meanwhile, Skinny was also alone, but not nearly as happy, with only his favourite tennis ball to keep him company. But sometimes a lucky bounce is all a dog needs to escape. Quite understandably, Fluffy was not best pleased. By now, Fluffy was done playing. She meant business and was a cat on a mission to get rid of her Skinny-sized problem forever. And Skinny had no idea what was laying in wait for him. But it wasn't long before he found out. You see, this is what happens when dogs don't listen to cats when they tell them to stop licking them. Ah, thought Fluffy, finally some peace and... Woof, said Skinny. Meow, said Fluffy. Woof, woof. Well, what girl, cat, can refuse a peace offering of fresh fish and a pint of ice-cold milk? And that's when Fluffy the cat extended a paw to Skinny the dog, and our story ends happily ever after. Because everybody knows that if a cat shakes a dog's paw, then they are friends forever. Maybe. So, you two, what do you think of my storytelling? Good, wasn't it? Oh, I see. Well, sleep well then.